Hey Todd, what's going on? Let me angle this a little better for you. I've been thinking about cognitive transition, the whole fucking the whole concept, and how people really go into this state. And I guess I'll drive around my neighborhood, and I'm about to crash. I'm pretty tired, but I'm going to drive around for a minute. And we're going to talk about cognitive transitioning. And, well, my friend who died, this is where I'm going with this. Julie died 2008 of cancer at age 21. And her whole life she was this very extroverted, ESTP, just very out there and very much on the go, an incredibly busy person, always on her phone. If she was by herself at the house, she usually was calling somebody and bugging them. And sorry, I'm tired. Some of my thoughts are coming out slow. The point was, she was definitely very extroverted. I know she was ESTP. She didn't seem to have any FI or TE. She was definitely on the TIFE axis. She definitely loved to argue with people when they were wrong, or she thought they were wrong anyways. Her TI parent and her FE child were definitely kind of vicious sometimes, because she was young, you know. She was still kind of developing herself. And well, she was definitely very much in her ego almost her whole life. It was only shortly before she died we saw a major transition in her behavior and her cognitive attitude. Part of it was she just became a mother shortly before the cancer, so she was gradually slowing down, but also because of the chemo, she was becoming more introverted, more solitary, more of a homebody. Still on her phone, of course, because she did like talking to her friends, Lindsay or myself or whoever she called, but she was slowing down a lot. But that's not where the rabbit hole really gets deep. The rabbit hole gets deeper like I noticed she was becoming more abstract and less about the concrete and more about the bigger picture. An example is she came over to see me one night shortly before she died, and she just kind of knew it was coming. You know, her cancer was in remission, and I was trying to encourage her, you know, tell her that everything's going to be okay, because I was hoping it would, and you know, I was being optimistic with my intuition. Because she's like, I feel like I've served my purpose, Chucky. I think I'm going to die. I'm trying to fight this, but I'm scared it's going to come back. I think my purpose is to give birth to my daughter, and it's time to go home. And that's what she was saying. I was like, no. And I was telling her, no, you will fight this. You know, because after that, she's like, but I want to go to school. You know, she was talking about what she wants. She was like, I want to go to college, and I want to get my hair extensions. You know, she was talking about all these things she was aspiring to. But she says, I just have a really bad feeling that this is it. You know, she's like, I'm just scared. I don't think I'm going to make it. And I don't know, I want your opinion on this. Does that sound like she was kind of going into the INFJ? Because it sure the heck felt like it. Like, when I think about my last memories with her, the way she acted, she seemed a lot more like an introvert before she died. She was a lot more abstract. Conversations with her were a lot deeper than they ever were, because she would call me and we'd talk for like hours. Because before she died, we've had a few really long conversations, like I said, and then there was that night she came to visit me. But I think Julie was embracing her inner INFJ, unless I'm wrong, but I think Julie was embracing her INFJ. At least to me, it felt that way. I mean, I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know what a fucking personality type was at the time. I just knew that when I heard her talking about stuff, I remember thinking to myself, this is not the Julie I know. There's something going on with her. I mean, I knew she was sick, but I had never heard Julie talk about life in that kind of way. I'd never heard her get really deep before. I've never seen any kind of abstraction out of her at all. I never had seen her go into like this sage-like mode. I'd never seen that with Julie. That's just not really how she was. She was usually very much about what's happening and what people are doing. You know, very SE. I mean, yeah, there's the NI. She wants to do this and that. But for the most part, Julie was pretty much in the moment about this is what people are doing, this is what I'm doing, this is what's really going on in the real world. This is the here and the now, you know, everything she talked about, you could touch it, you could taste it. She didn't talk about abstract stuff. It was rare. Like, even back then, I tried to talk about deeper things like my faith or, you know, stuff that borderline into abstraction, you know, talking about God and, you know, just a lot of spiritual stuff, you know, because I like spiritual things, you know. But I would try to talk about that with Julie, and it just kind of bored her. But, like, before she died, though, she was really becoming a lot more of an abstract thinker. I saw a lot of NI in her before she died. Of course, I didn't know what it was back then. I just noticed there was something different about the way she acted. And I don't know how to explain it other than she must have been going into the INFJ subconscious, because Julie was just feeling a lot different during that time period. Her personality was changing. She really felt, not to sound crazy, and it wasn't every moment, but she was starting to feel, from what I can remember, like an INFJ. Like, she was really transitioning into that INFJ, you know. She was becoming, I guess you could say, quote unquote, more sage-like. Like, her introverted intuition, it was, you could say pessimistic because it was predicting doom, but it seemed more aspiring in the sense that it was just kind of like, I don't know, it was a deeper side of her that I have never seen before and I've never known. And what's weirder about this is I met up with an old friend today that used to know her, and he was her best friend, you know. I mean, I talked to her a lot too, but this was her partying buddy, you know, and I was the guy that she would talk to, you know, just about life, or if she just wants somebody to listen to her. But this is a guy she would go out to the clubs with, and he's an ENFJ, by the way, if that helps. At least he claims to be, and he says he agrees with the description. And he was a party animal, and C.S. Joseph says the ENFJs are actually big party animals. So there you go. Anyways, I was telling him about all this stuff, and he said he never had really deep conversations with her because most of the time they were just hanging out at clubs and they weren't really able to talk on a deep level. But he did say he knew that she kind of knew what was coming as soon as it happened. not at first, but as she died, he definitely realized that she saw her own fate. Because she normally says, see you later. Instead, this time she said, bye. And that really kind of weirded him out because he's like, what do you mean, bye? You know? And I think Julie was going in and out of the INFJ subconscious. Her NI was getting really strong before she died. At least that's the impression I get. Hold on.
Power on.
Anyways, sorry, I was turning something off. But I feel that the INFJ subconscious was really, really strong in Julie before she died. It unfortunately was very short-lived, but I feel like she was becoming to that side of her mind because of her death and what was happening and her sickness. I mean, her death was from the sick. You know what I mean? I think her illness was changing her because when she got sick, she did really start to look at her life and reflect more. She got more intuitive. She got deeper. She got back in touch with her faith again. I mean, I'm a Christian, so I think that's kind of cool, you know. But she started like re-examining her belief systems, and everything about her just started changing. She started slowing down. Like I said, she started living a slower paced life. She wasn't as, you know, extroverted or busy all the time. She was finally starting to just calm down. And I think she was kind of aspiring to be that inner INFJ that's always been inside of her. At least that's the impression I get. Unfortunately, she died before we could really see her develop. But when she, like I said, the last few times I saw her, she had a heavy NI vibe. The SE was on the back burner, so to speak. I don't know if any of this makes any sense to you, though, but this is just kind of what I've seen with Julie. She was becoming a lot more abstract and a lot more, I don't know. I just wanted to discuss this with you and get your opinion on this. But I think Julie's INFJ was definitely starting to develop. Anyways, I'm out for the night. Later.